Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today we're going to first look at Florentino Perez issuing warning to Arsenal, Chelsea and Tottenham after Super League backlash, and then we're going to look at the reason Arsenal and Chelsea are set to stay in Europe this season despite UEFA threats. So the first news headline states that Florentino Perez issues warning to Arsenal, Chelsea and Tottenham after Super League backlash. The newly announced chairman of the European Super League, Florentino Perez, spoke to the media last night, issuing some more detail on the new look competition. Real Madrid president Florentino Perez, who is the newly installed chairman of the newly found European Super League, delivered an explosive interview last night following the announcement of the new look tournaments on Sunday, insisting the clubs now involved cannot break free. It was announced late on Sunday evening that English heavyweights Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur would join Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Real Madrid, AC Milan, Inter Milan and Juventus in forming the new midweek competition in an attempt to break away from the UEFA Champions League. Unsurprisingly, the plan has been blasted by football supporters across Europe, as well as big-name pundits, including Sky Sports' Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville, who have heavily criticised the plan during an explosive Monday Night Football. Florentino Perez, though, has defended the announcement, suggesting that the tournament will take forward and be the future. Speaking with El Chiringuito, the Spaniard opened up on the plans behind the tournament and why it will be the way forward for the clubs involved. As well as that, he announced that the 12 clubs who have agreed to join the plan will not be allowed to get out of it, despite growing pressures from elsewhere, particularly the Premier League. He said, "The contract of the Super League is binding, nobody can leave, we will work all together. All the clubs signed the contracts last Saturday, there's no problem." Florentino Perez had made this admission after a report by Mail Football written by Olivier Holt claimed that cracks may be beginning to appear and that two English clubs are close to losing their nerve. Florentino Perez also confirmed that the main reason to form the Super League was to try and bolster the bank balances of the 12 clubs involved after a difficult 12 months for everyone because of the pandemic, which has forced turnstiles to stand still and deny supporters the chance of supporting their teams. Many important clubs in Italy, Spain and the UK want to find a solution to a very bad financial situation, Florentino Perez continued. The only way is to play more competitive games. If instead of playing the Champions League, the Super League helps the clubs to recover the lost earnings. Here at Real Madrid, we have lost a lot of money. We are going all the way through a very bad situation. When there is no profit, the only way is to play more competitive games during the week. The Super League will save the clubs financially. So it looks like Florentino Perez has issued a warning to Arsenal and Chelsea and Tottenham with other clubs as well, and it looks like he has made it clear that he does not want any club to leave after they have signed an agreement to stay with the founding clubs of the other 11. So say Arsenal didn't want to be part of this anymore, it would be very difficult for them to leave after cracks have started to open in this new Super League. So you have to wait and see if this won't happen, but Florentino Perez has made a very strong warning to Arsenal. And this nicely takes us on to the second piece of news, which states that the reason Arsenal and Chelsea are set to stay in Europe this season despite UEFA threats. So the reports are stating that Arsenal and Chelsea fans will have feared missing out on their hard-earned European semi-finals after the two clubs agreed to be founding members of the new Super League, but there is fresh hope. Arsenal and Chelsea's hopes of staying in this season's European competitions have been given an almighty boost. Both teams sparked outrage after they agreed to become founding members of the new Super League and have since been threatened with potential punishment, with UEFA up in arms over the proposed formation of the new competition. The governing body's chief, Alexander Seferin, threatened to ban teams from competitions as soon as possible. That meant Arsenal and Chelsea's participation in the Europa League and Champions League semi-finals this season could be put at serious risk. Seferin said on Monday, "We are still assessing with our legal team, but we will take all the sanctions that we can and we will inform you as soon as we can. My opinion is that as soon as possible they have to be banned from our competitions and the players from all competitions." But leading sports rights expert Juan de Dios Crespo has told Gol España that Arsenal and Chelsea are unlikely to be kicked out of the season's competitions, or at least not with serious compensation. In the regulations of the Champions League, as in the Europa League, there is a procedure of admission with established criteria, explained Crespo. They may not be expelled, but they may also not be allowed in. Once they are in this year, they cannot be kicked out. It will be the next year that they are not allowed to come in, at most. UEFA also threatened that any player who competes in the Super League will be banned from competing for their national team, and Crespo has given his thoughts on that. UEFA is formed through national federations, and if the players are not registered with the federation because they don't play in national competitions, then they cannot play with their national teams, Crespo added. If these clubs are expelled from the national competitions, that would mean that players could not play for their national teams because they would not be registered. So it looks like the reason Arsenal and Chelsea are set to stay in Europe has been revealed, and it looks like even though UEFA have given a threat to these clubs in terms of making sure that they don't play in Europe, and the vice president or the president is very careful and considerate when it comes to making sure these teams don't play next season in the Champions League or Europa League, and making sure that they don't even play in the World Cup or the European Championships will take place in this summer. And it's a big statement made by Alexander Seferin, who is very clear on making sure that if they participate in the Super League, they're not getting no chances in our competitions, and he's making it very clear. But it looks like what someone has stated, one of the journalists has found out, is the fact that if you join a competition this season, then you have to play it and you can't be kicked out, but they may feel sanctions next season where they might not be having the possibility to play for the club and not play for the competition. So it's going to be very difficult to see what's happening. At the end of the day, all that's going through our minds is what is happening right now. Everything looks like a dream, but we have to keep on moving, because only when things are being unfolded, after we're getting answers to questions, then we'll be able to move forward and we can see what's happening. But it looks like Florentino Perez is very clear that he doesn't want any club to leave, and especially Arsenal, that are very keen on making sure they want to be in the Super League, but the fans are very against it. So we have to wait and see how this pans out. Hopefully it's for the best of football, and that's all I wish for. But other than that, guys, remain blessed. Stay tuned for the next video, and peace.